They haunted the nightmares of German troops in Italy and southern France. They took on missions that no other Allied force could handle. Nor would want to. They did routinely what others said.
I'm a writer and director of the documentary Daring to Die, the story of the Black Devils, which was pretty much, it was commissioned by History Television. It was the only unit in World War II that was combined of two countries, the United States and Canada. They kind of forged the very first of the special forces, the ones that Navy SEALs, Green Berets, JTF-2, all of those are based on.
They did routinely what others said could not be done. They killed 25 of their enemy for every man they lost.
My grandfather was a member of the first Special Service Force, and we always knew that he was a commando in World War II, but we didn't really know much about what they did, where he went. Very, very little, really. He didn't speak about it a lot. After he died, we realized that there really wasn't much of a chance to find out more. So I kind of started the research as a personal journey, and the more I discovered, the more I realized that this was a story that people needed to know more about, as far as I was concerned, and a lot of people shared that idea, that opinion. It's just a story that wasn't being told. Well, the documentary basically it follows the entire career of the first Special Service Force, from it being conceived and set up in 1942, right the way through the war, through all of its battles. In the training in particular, they were training in Montana. They brought Canadians in, they brought Americans in. The Canadians were sort of the hand-picked best of the best. The legend is the Americans were kind of the people that were being voluntold out of other units. I'm not sure how true that is. But this was essentially set up as what they called a double volunteer system, where you had to volunteer once and volunteer again, on the notion that you probably weren't coming back. It's interesting because they were looking for people with outdoor experience and could live off the land and really had a knowledge that went beyond what you usually found in a city dweller. They found a lot of people from rural places. It's really interesting that 9 of the men in the force were from Muskoka. It's a really high percentage when you think of, all of Canada provides 600 people, 9 of them from this very area. That's quite amazing to me. They're a hardy bunch back here. I think people in the States knew a little bit more about it than people in Canada did. We're a little more modest that way. It was billed as a top secret unit in World War II, and the guys who came back didn't talk about it because they were not supposed to from the beginning. And I think it took an awful lot out of the guys who were in it. It cost them a lot to do this. They lost a lot of people, a lot of friends. I know my grandfather, he said basically that he'd lost every friend he'd ever had. He was the only survivor of his platoon. And so it wasn't good memories for him in that respect. He did what he had to do. He did it well, and he didn't want to think about what the things he had to do in order to get through and to do what it is they were told to do.
The story begins and ends here in Helena, Montana.
This is Fort William Henry Harrison. We stand right where we are now. It's almost like it was when we got here.
There's been a movement afoot for a couple of years now to have the first Special Service Force recognized as a unit, as a whole, with the Congressional Gold Medal in the United States. That's the highest honor that Congress can bestow. It's only been a couple of hundred that have ever been awarded, and the first person to be awarded with it was George Washington. So it's been around for a while. I was asked a couple of years ago to go down to Washington by the Canadian Embassy to present the film, to present the documentary as part of an effort to help Congress decide whether or not they were going to do this. And the Canadian government was really quite supportive of that, trying to make sure that these men were honored as they should be. It worked, and the Congress has decided to bestow the Congressional Gold Medal on the first Special Service Force. And it will be presented now on February 3rd. And I was very, very fortunate to be among those who was invited to attend the ceremony. So I'll be down in Congress at Emancipation Hall on February 3rd. It's amazing.
But when you gotta kill because they're gonna kill you right now if you don't protect yourself, Hell, I joined the outfit for that.